And there we go. Hey, folks. Papa D here, coming to you again from David Deliver Space. It seems like it's been only a few hours since we last had a chance to see each other. Actually, it was a few hours ago. We were able to watch the first of two Starlink launches today. The second of which is coming up here very shortly. We have Starlink 717 going to be launching from Vandenberg this evening. It is a Starlink payload of 23 satellites, and it's launching from SLC-4E at Vandenberg Air Force Base in California. The vehicle this evening is B-1063, and it is flight number 17 for this booster. The catch, or recovery, will be, of course, I Still Love You. That'll be out in Pacific, of course. And on this specific booster, we're looking, like I said, at flight number 17. It's the 294th Falcon recovery attempt. And on this specific booster, it was a 47-day turnaround, which is fairly quick. They're able to get those turned around from launch to launch within 40 to 60 days. And so if we're down in the 40s, that was a pretty good turnaround. And we hope we can have this grandfather booster have a successful launch and landing this evening. And as it gets closer and closer, we're working on being the record holder very shortly. A couple housekeeping items just to kind of follow up with what's going on in the next 24 hours. Tomorrow we have the Crew 7 that is going to be leaving the International Space Station. The coverage on that will begin early, about 9 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. Get my notes on that. Sorry about that. They're going to be starting coverage from NASA at 9 a.m. The undocking will actually take place at 11:05 Eastern Time. The splashdown will be Tuesday morning. Coverage will begin around 4:30, and the splashdown will be just off the coast of Florida at approximately 5:30 Central Time. So that's the next 24 hours. We've got a few other happenings in between, and then, of course, the big launch on Thursday, hopefully. And that'll be the test number 3, Integrated Flight Test, IFT number 3. We are still waiting on the FAA license. Go figure. We are officially a go as far as SpaceX is concerned. Starship 28 has been stacked as of earlier today on Booster 10. And all the procedures and all of the testing is going along, anticipating a T0 at approximately 8:30 Thursday morning. Now again, as I've said before, that is fluid. This is a test program. Things can happen. Launches can be delayed. But we are keeping our fingers crossed as the rocket, looking for the right word, but maniacs, or those of us that are just have been just biting at the bit for this one. A lot going on Thursday, and this is pivotal. This is a pivotal day to its soft landing, which will now be in the Indian Ocean, not off the coast of Hawaii. So for those of you that hadn't heard that earlier, we will be seeing a hopefully soft landing in the Indian Ocean. That gives the spacecraft a whole lot more operating room, safety room for the amount of tests, and of course a test article. You want that margin of safety as large as possible. So that will be the big change for those of you that haven't heard it. I'll have more information coming up on that. If you go out to SpaceX's website, they have the complete flight profile by the minute, and it's a busy profile. There's a lot that they're going to try to accomplish. And looks like we are about ready to have the feed come through to kick over to the Starship launch. So let's stand by for that. And again, this is Starlink 717, Group 717, flying out of Vandenberg. And it is 23 of the mini version 2.0 satellites in the payload. And this will be flight 17. So that little recap, I'm going to stand by here and we'll pop over to the feed as soon as it's available, and then we'll finish up. But at the end of the day, busy week. And in anticipation of that, I want to thank my subscribers. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe, hit the bell, and do all that stuff, because we try to have a little fun around here, and I'd love to have you as part of the family. So let's stand by and wait for the feed to come through, and hopefully catch this next launch. Second of two, East Coast earlier, West Coast tonight. All right, folks, that feed came up in a hurry. About 4 minutes and change to launch. Everything that I've got tells me that we're looking good. They have finished the chill, they've retracted the strong back, and coming up at about 2 minutes, we should have a fully fueled launch vehicle with about 1 million pounds of liquid oxygen and liquid kerosene. See that strong back moving back ever so slowly. Again, for newer people, the reason the strong back is there, other than to support the rocket, but is to support it because when the rocket is not full of fuel, prior to fueling it, the rocket is not as stable structurally. Once that fuel is loaded and it's up to pressure, the vehicle is a lot more structurally sound, and along with releasing that strong back.
Stage 1 locks load complete, and Stage 1 pogo.
All right. A tool to hold the vehicle, and you do see the startup. That will be at about 1 minute, and as I know most of you already know, but the 1 minute startup is when the vehicle takes over control internally and makes all the decisions with respect to the launch of the vehicle. Now, of course, ground control can always intercede on launch, but barring anything that is seen by the ground crew, the vehicle will be on internal.
Stage 2 locks load is complete.
All right, we have a full load now. But this vehicle, as all SpaceX vehicles, are programmed to run the program or to run the mission profile.
Gas launch closeout.
And that was what we were saying. And getting ready for a launch. So we'll stand by here, like I said, and hopefully we'll see a nice launch this evening out of Vandenberg Air Force Base. Again, Falcon 9 Block 5, booster, folks.
LD is go for launch. T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 15 seconds. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition. And liftoff of Falcon 9. Go Starlink, go SpaceX.
And we have an on-time liftoff.
Vehicles
B
pitching
163. For a minute. Right here, just about a little less than a minute, about a half a minute, we'll be coming through max Q, the region of where the aerodynamic pressure is the greatest on the vehicle.
Vehicle is supersonic. Max Q.
And we have max Q. And before entering into max Q, they have to dial back those engines a little bit, cut back the power a little bit, so they're not slamming into the wall, so to speak. And then after max Q, they power them back up to full power again. Or they don't. Actually, Falcon 9 autonomously does that. They're in the process now of chilling the MVAC engine on the second stage, so do not slam cold propellant in. They just drop a little bit of LOX down in there just to cool them down. Beautiful picture. This kind of video coverage for us to enjoy. Looking up the Falcon 9.
Main engine cut off.
Stage separation confirmed.
There's stage separation. And we should have MVAC ignition.
MVAC ignition.
There we go. At this point, Falcon 9's booster can begin its trip back home.
Both vehicles continue to follow nominal trajectories.
That's good news. Those grid fins open up. They won't do anything until the Falcon 9 is down into the thicker part of the atmosphere where the aerodynamic control that they give will actually perform well. Coming up on the fairing separations. There we go. Those will be recovered, saving SpaceX about $6 million. Only part of the Falcon 9 stack that is not reused is the second stage. Unlike the upcoming Starship, where everything will be recovered, refueled, and reused. These are things that we, a few years ago, never thought we'd see. Right now the Looks like everything is nominal. Second stage continues to speed up, gain altitude, get up to where it's going to be that parking orbit. First stage telemetry looks nominal as well. The vehicle is not climbing too much more. It still has a little bit of momentum from the initial launch. As you can see by the speed picking up still. That will begin to...
Both vehicles continue to follow nominal trajectories.
That will begin to change, and most certainly once we have the entry burn, which is 3 of the engines lighting to allow the first stage to begin its trip back down to the recovery vehicle, that will dramatically decrease. And also the recovery vehicle, as I mentioned, is going to be, of course, I Still Love You. And that is waiting off the coast of California. Got about another minute or so, and we will have that entry burn. And begin the recovery portion of the booster. Beautiful picture, stage 1. And that looks like the entry burn. Sure is. Prior to that, you saw those puffs of gas. Those are the cold gas thrusters that were
Stage
assisting
1 entry burn startup.
the maneuvering. It's not a very long burn. There we go, it's over already. But that is enough to break the pull that the gravity has and begins the free fall.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
Stage 1, FTS is saved.
And as the first stage comes through the thicker part of the atmosphere, it is able to slow down, take advantage of that thick atmosphere, the grid fins doing their job, and you can see they're heating up and they glow a little bit. That titanium is getting a little warm. About 8 miles until touchdown.
Stage
And once
2,
they get
FTS is saved.
flight termination system has been saved, so there's no chance that's going to accidentally initiate itself. We'll light 1, the
Stage 1
center
transonic.
engine. Somewhere right about there, if someone were out in the ocean listening for it. But that 1 engine will light, and it will power up, and then back down for landing. And here we go.
Stage 2 is in terminal guidance.
Stage 1 landing burn. Landing with deploy.
And it looks like
Stage
we
1 landing
have
confirmed.
a confirmed landing. Landing number 17 for this booster. We should be coming up on Seco in just a second here. We'll shut down the second stage engine and begin its coast until it releases its
And back
payload later
shutdown.
on this evening. All right. All right, so we had another launch and landing of a Falcon 9 Block 5 craft this evening. The second, another doubleheader. It just becomes, I think, for SpaceX, a matter of fact. They're just so good at what they do. To see a couple launches in a single day, it's become just commonplace for them, but not for the rest of us. I want to thank SpaceX again for always providing that video so we can provide it to our subscribers, educate people that are just learning how exciting of a time this is and are paying attention to these launches and want to be a part of all this. I'm excited about it. I've been a so to speak space nut since I was about 5 years old when Apollo was going. And it's good to see us getting back into the space business. And it's good to see these commercial entities that are able to make that happen. So with that said, again, I will be back with y'all tomorrow morning as far as we can tell. Unless something changes, we should have a 9 a.m. start to the feed. If that's the case, I may just run the feed so y'all can see what's going on with the whole process of closing the hatch and separating from the space station and all that. That will take place at about 11:05, and then the actual splashdown of the Dragon will take place Tuesday morning, approximately 5:30. We'll run it sometime around 4:15 to 4:30 in the morning. So a busy week ahead. And I'm going to do an update as we get closer to Thursday. I will be doing another update, probably a couple updates, with respect to the Starship. That, barring any kind of an issue, we will have one exciting Thursday morning watching that go up. So with that being said, I will end this feed this evening. Thanks again to SpaceX. Thank you absolutely to my subscribers. You guys are awesome. I've had a lot of comments, a lot of questions the last couple of days. Love talking to you guys. If you have any questions about someone understand what had happened with that catastrophe and the lost comments, leave them down below. If you have anything you want to see, anything you think we can do or do better, let me know. I'd love you. You'd like to have about all these things going on today. Rocket Lab, there's so many, and truly blessed to be able to be part of that and witness history being made almost on a daily basis. Assuming that goes off without a hitch. Have a good evening. Thank you to everyone. So, we'll see you tomorrow.